Hi everyone, my name is Ms. Beckham. I'm the College and Career Counselor here at Conroe High School. And I wanted to share my screen today and go over with you a lot of important information as you prepare for your senior year. So as you prepare for this year, these are some key points I want you to think about. You need to get to know your counselor. Some of you have had the same counselor throughout high school. Some of you may have a new counselor this year because there was a shift in the alphabet. This person, your counselor, is who will be writing your letters of recommendation for you, either for college or for scholarships. It is a lot easier for counselors to write letters of recommendation when they know the student rather than whenever they don't. So get to know your counselor, even if it's just emailing back and forth right now while you're at home. That is something that's very important for this school year. Also, you need to know your facts. Once you get to be a senior, people who have graduated or other people you may come in contact with may think they know what's best for you, that you should apply to this school versus another school, that you should do things this way, not that way. Be sure that you know your facts, and if you are not sure, please ask. I am here to help, and I am happy to help anytime you need questions answered. And also know where the CCC is located. A lot of things that you need throughout the year will come through the College and Career Center. So make sure you know where we're located. We're located off from the cafeteria, down the athletic hallway. Our doors are always open unless we have meetings, so you're welcome to come by anytime. I invite you to come. This is the new counselor breakdown for students. So you can take a look at this. It's listed by last name to see if you have the same counselor or maybe someone different this year. The College and Career Center, it is open daily from 7 o'clock to 3:30. Parents are welcome to come in if they have any questions. I'm happy to meet with them to help answer anything. In the CCC, there's myself, and my email address and phone number are there, and my assistant is Miss Rodriguez, and her email and phone number are there as well. So here in the CCC, we can help with a variety of things. If you are applying to a college and you're on free or reduced lunch, you can get a fee waiver, and that comes through here. If you need to make any appointments with me to visit, we can do that. If you have questions about college selection or just questions in general, I'm happy to help. Or if you are looking to maybe join the military and you don't know who to contact, I have that contact information. So you are more than welcome to come down and get that. I have contacts for colleges. If you're not able to get answers from the college, you can come visit with me. I can call our representative and sometimes get quicker answers. So I'm happy to do that for you. Also, if you're on free or reduced lunch and you need to retake the SAT or ACT, or maybe just take it to for the first time, you can get a fee waiver through the College and Career Center. We will be using Naviance a lot this year, so any Naviance questions come through the CCC, scholarship application questions, college visits, and Lone Star appointments. All of that comes through us. So if you have any questions about any of these things, please, please come to the College and Career Center. So like I said, everything starts here in the College and Career Center. And then from here, we will disperse it out to where it needs to go. The first thing that you need to do is make sure you are checking your emails. I will be sending emails to seniors throughout the year. So if you are not getting emails from me, then that means I do not have either your email address or the correct email address. And we need to make sure that we get that in Naviance. One of the activities that you're going to be doing through your English class is to complete a survey. And part of that is to enter in your email address and also logging into Naviance and adding your email address. This is super important that you read the emails I send, because I don't have the opportunity to meet with every single one of you individually to share information, and this is how I communicate to seniors all the time. So please make sure you're checking your emails. If you do not have your email listed in Naviance and you need help with that, you can email Ms. Rodriguez or myself. We will need your first and last name, your student ID, and what email address you're using so we can make sure that we have that correct in our system. To use Naviance, there are two different ways that you can log into Naviance. One is to go to the website. It's student.naviance.com/Conroe. Once you go to the Conroe High School Naviance screen, you're going to see this. You're going to see that it has student, parent, guardian, or alumni. You're going to click on student. When you click on student, you're going to have the option to list your email address or continue with single sign-on. You're going to continue with single sign-on, and then it will take you to the Conroe ISD single sign-on page. Your login information is the same you're using for Canvas or your Chromebook. You enter that same information. The other way for you to log into Naviance is to go straight to your single sign-on, your Conroe ISD. Once you sign in, you can scroll down and you will see an icon for Naviance. When you click on that, it'll take you directly into Naviance. So those are two different ways that you can log into Naviance. We will be using Naviance throughout the year, so you need to make sure you are familiar with how to access this. So you're a senior. What are your plans for next year? I'm sure you're getting that question a lot. And you know what? It's okay if you're not sure what you want to do after high school. Starting to think about it now, though, will help lessen stress later on this school year. So even though you're not real sure, maybe making a decision about whether you want to go to college or not, that's your decision right now. And then from there, we can move on. But it is okay not to know, but I do want you to begin thinking about what you want to do. So for this next part of the presentation, we're going to discuss senior year requirements, options after high school, how to apply to college, and deadlines and reminders. This will have a lot of information for you. You will have access to this video to go back and re-watch some of the sections that pertain to you. And through Canvas, there is a lot of information listed with step-by-step instructions on how to do these things. So let's talk real quick about graduation requirements. All of you should be in classes to finish out your graduation requirements. You have to have 4 credits of English, 4 credits of math, 4 credits of science, 4 credits of social studies, 2 credits of a foreign language, a language other than English, a half credit of health, PE or a PE substitute. That could be band, drill team, cheer, ROTC, athletics, or off-campus PE. 1 credit of a fine art, and 5.5 elective credits. Those elective credits will go towards something called an endorsement. The endorsement really just matches whatever electives you take. And there are 5 different endorsements that students can receive. When you're applying to college through Apply Texas, it will ask you what type of graduation plan you're on. You're going to choose Foundation with Endorsement. That is the graduation plan that you're on. Although they are asking what graduation plan you're on, you do not have to have a specific graduation plan with an endorsement in order to be accepted into college. They just want students to graduate and have at least 1 endorsement. So some options of what you can do after high school. You can graduate and go straight into an entry-level job. That will be an option for some of you. Some of you will want to go into the military. Some of you will want to go to a technical school, a program that is less than 2 years. Some of you will want to go to a community college or a junior college, and some of you may want to go straight to a 4-year university. No matter what plan you have, Naviance has information for all of these options. You can take a look there to find out more about all of these. If you're interested in the military, we have military recruiters that come on campus throughout the year. They have a day of the week assigned to them. Obviously, when we're doing virtual school, they will not be on campus, but once we return, we will come up with a plan for you to have access to them to be able to visit with them. You can also visit with them at their recruiting office if you would prefer to do that. And I, again, have their contact information if you want to do that. Joining the military is an option for some students maybe that don't have money to pay for college. Joining the military can help pay for that. They train you in skills, maybe something that you enjoy doing for you to have as a job in the military, but then they will also pay you to go to college and receive a degree. There is full-time military and also reserves that you can do where you just do part of the time. You can still go to college, you can still have a job, but you're only doing service 1 week in a month and 2 weeks out of the year. So those are different options with military for some of you. Some of you may want to leave high school and go straight to work. So this is an example of median Houston area annual earnings. So this is based on a whole year salary for different jobs. At the bottom of this, you can see that child care workers, you can work as a child care worker without any training after high school. They make about $9 an hour. A cashier, you do not have to have any sort of education after high school. Some of them make about $9.50 an hour. Then as you go up, the level of education increases as well. A welder receives a certification. A teacher, dental hygienist, industrial engineer, pharmacist assistant, physician's assistant. Each of those has more education. The more education you have, the more money you're able to receive. So even those of you that are wanting to go straight to work, you may not make much money after you graduate straight out of high school, but as you receive more training on the job, your salary will be able to increase as you move on. There are options at two-year colleges, and there are a lot of options at two-year colleges. I will use Lone Star as an example for most of this because they are close by to us and we work closely with them. However, there are different two-year colleges out there. There's Blinn, there's Navarro College, Tyler Junior College, and many others within, even close to the Houston area. But at a two-year college, you can take classes for credit and take those classes and transfer them to a four-year university. So let's say you want to start at Lone Star, go there for a year or two, you would take those classes and they would follow you to Sam Houston, and then you would finish your degree at Sam Houston. You can also get an associate's degree. An associate's degree is a two-year college degree. You can get that and either go to a four-year college and then continue on, or you can finish with your associate's degree and go straight to work. There are something called an engineering academy, engineering academies at some two-year schools. So what this means is they have a partnership with a four-year university. For instance, Houston Community College has a partnership with Texas A&M, and you can start at Houston Community College in their engineering academy and then transfer into A&M's engineering academy. So you still take your basics at Houston Community College, you take some engineering classes at Houston Community College, but because of that partnership, then students are able to transfer to A&M. So that is a program for some of you to look into. If maybe you can't get into A&M right out of high school, you maybe could start through an engineering academy such as this. There's also workforce certificates that you can get through a two-year college where you would go to school from anywhere from 6 months to 12 months in school to get a certificate. And that includes welding, there's childcare, there's business certificates, automotive, and the list goes on and on. So that would be a good option for some of you who you know you want to go to school, but you're not really sure what you want to do after you graduate. You could get a certificate, and then some of those certificates you can continue on after you get the first level and continue on in college, but then you also have a certificate to make a little bit more money right out of the program to help pay for college along the way. With two-year colleges, there are two different types. So Lone Star is what we call a commuter college. That's a school that is close to home. It's in our community. You drive there, you take classes, and then you drive home. There's no dorms, there's not really any athletics. They do have student organizations, but it's something where you just drive there and then you drive home. Then there are residential two-year colleges. These are colleges that have dorms, so you would actually live there, and they usually have athletic teams. So for some of you that want to play sports, maybe this would be an option for you. You could go to a residential two-year college, you could live on campus, and you can play sports there, and then maybe transfer to a four-year college later With the residential colleges, they are throughout Texas, but they are the same thing. You can get an associate's degree there, or you can go there and then transfer later on to a four-year college. So that is a good option for some students if you want to maybe have a four-year college experience, but you're not quite ready to go to a four-year college. This would give you the opportunity to kind of have a mini college experience before you move on to a four-year college. So steps to attending a two-year college, first you apply. You usually do this in spring of your senior year. Applications to two-year schools, they go long into the school year. So even with Lone Star, with it being August right now, students can apply to Lone Star today and still be able to take classes when school starts here in a couple of weeks for Lone Star. They do require placement testing, so either the TSI, the SAT, or the ACT. You have to have the bacterial meningitis shot or a waiver. Sign up for new student orientation, and then you register for classes. For those of you that are interested in going to Lone Star, we have a Lone Star college rep that is assigned to our school, and they will be here throughout the year to help students. So if you have questions about different programs at Lone Star, they would be a good contact person for you to ask. So we will have signups for that once everyone returns to campus. So below on this screen, you will see these are different jobs that don't require a 2 or 4 year degree. Most of them require a certification. So like I said, those are less than 2 years. Some are 18 months, some are 12 months, some are 6 months. And you can see the median wage. So this is after they've been working for a little while, of what each of these jobs make based on having a certification alone. So again, if you are a student that you're kind of over school, don't want to continue, but you know you want to have a good paying job, getting a certification in less than 2 years might be the best option for you. There are a lot of certifications, not only at Lone Star, but at a lot of our neighboring community colleges in the Houston area. Some students I've heard are nervous about starting at Lone Star because they feel like they won't be able to transfer later on. So there was an article that was published in, I believe it was 2017. So it's been a couple of years. So these numbers are probably larger than what they are now. But these are the top transfer schools from Lone Star College. So the top transfer school from Lone Star College is Sam Houston, right down the road. Baylor, UT, and A&M are also transfer schools. So if you really, really want to go to UT or really, really want to go to A&M and you apply and you don't get accepted, this might be an option for you. Start at Lone Star, then you can eventually transfer to one of the schools listed here, or any school for that matter. So to go to a four-year university, these are schools that offer bachelor's degrees. That's what a bachelor's degree is. It's a 4-year to 5-year program. If you're wanting to go to college but not wanting to go far off, there are several options that are close to Houston. This is not even a comprehensive list. There are even more than this that are available. So if you're wanting to stay close to home and you're not really sure where to look, come see me and we can explore some options for you to be able to stay close to home but still go to a 4-year university. So if a 4-year university is your goal, these are some steps that you need to take. You need to think about what schools you want to apply to and apply to 3 to 6 schools. Okay, that's not a hard and fast set limit. You may know exactly where you want to apply and you know you without a doubt can get accepted. That is completely fine. You may not be real sure, so you might want to apply to more. Applying to more than 6, it is going to be very time consuming. So that's why we kind of limit it to 3 to 6 schools for you to apply to. You'll also be working on scholarships during fall of your senior year. Starting in October of your senior year is when you will apply for financial aid through the FAFSA. That opens up October 1st. You will continue working on scholarships. There are scholarships that are available all throughout the school year. By May 1st, you will be deciding where you will be attending in fall of the year after you graduate. So by then, you should have been accepted. Make sure that you visit the college and you've done your research, and make sure that you can afford it and see if that's really the place where you want to go. So applying to college, like I said, the first step is developing a list. Then you will apply, send your test scores, send transcripts, and then any rec letters that you may need. So step one, choosing a college. There are over 4,000 colleges in the United States. That is amazing. There is a college for everyone. Some of you may want to stay in Texas. There's a lot in Texas. Some of you may want to get as far away from Conroe as you can. And there are even more colleges outside of Texas. So how do you choose those 3 to 6 colleges that I'm encouraging you to apply to? First, you need to think about finding the right fit. You're going to hear me say that throughout the year. Some things to think about are looking at the programs they offer, the location, the distance from home. How far is it from home? Are you able to drive? Are you going to need to fly? What are the rankings of the programs? Getting to know the faculty at the programs. You can do that by looking at the college's website. Looking at your diversity needs. If you're wanting to go to a school that is very diverse, or maybe a school that's not very diverse. Looking at the cost of the school. Is it something that you are able to afford? And then looking at the reputation of the school. You know, what is the job acceptance rate of graduates from that school? Those are important things to look at. So whenever you're developing a list, you need to kind of come up with colleges in these categories. A reach school is above and beyond, where your chances of gaining admissions is less than 50%. For some of you, that reach school may be UT. For some of you, that reach school may be Rice, it may be Harvard. So some of you may have always dreamed of going to a school, but maybe your grades haven't been so good in high school. You may be exactly what that college is looking for the year that you're supposed to be starting college. I encourage you to go ahead and apply, because you never know. A target college is where you have a likelihood of admissions and you look very similar on paper to other students who have been accepted there. Looking at your grades and test scores if you have them. You match similar students who have been accepted there. A likely school is not a fallback school. It's a college where you're guaranteed admissions, but it's not a school that if that's the only school that you were accepted to, that you would not be happy going there. It needs to be a school that you would be happy attending if that's the only place that you were accepted. So there's 3 different types of admissions for different colleges, okay? So for Texas public universities, there was a law that was passed several years ago that says that if you're in the top 10% of your graduating class, you can automatically be admitted to a Texas public university. For University of Texas, they announce in September of every year what the percentage for that year's class will be. So for your graduating class, University of Texas has announced that class of 2020, the top 6% of students can automatically be admitted. Another way of admissions is called assured admits. So what this does is it looks at your class rank and your possible SAT or ACT scores. And then there's something called holistic admission, and I will explain that in just a minute. So for assured admits, that looks at a preset rank and test score. So for example, Texas A&M may have a preset rank and test score that they're looking at, where Texas State has something completely different. Each college is able to set their own assured admission requirements. It's a good idea to look at each college's website for more information. And something to keep in mind, just because you are able to automatically get accepted to the university does not mean that you can automatically get admitted into a major you're wanting to pursue. So let's say you apply to A&M, you get accepted, but you may not automatically get into their engineering program. Okay, so those are 2 different processes. There is a chart that I have posted in Canvas for assured admissions for not only Texas public schools, but schools across the country. So that is another place for you to look. That is created by college reps themselves. So the college rep for Texas A&M is placing on that Google Doc the criteria for admissions to their school. So it is information coming from the college reps themselves. This is kind of what the chart looks like. We have been told from these college reps that they will release a full list of information by mid-August, which is coming up. But the best way to find out admissions criteria is to look at the college's website itself. It will tell you exactly what you need to be able to get accepted to that school. So some colleges, as you may have seen or heard, are saying that they are test optional. So what is that? So what that means is that automatic, that assured admissions where students can get accepted with their SAT or ACT scores. Some of those same schools are stating that students do not have to have SAT or ACT scores, and they can still apply to their university without those scores. Whenever you're applying to that college, you must indicate on the application that you're wanting to be considered without scores. However, once you decide that you want to be considered without any test scores, you cannot go back and change your mind. The colleges are not allowing that. They will evaluate your application without your test scores, and they will look at you holistically, which means that they are looking at all aspects of you as a student, not just your GPA and rank. If you do take the SAT or ACT, it is recommended that you send your scores, because some scholarships for some of these universities are based on test scores. So you want to make sure that if you're a high achieving student and you did really, really well on the SAT or ACT, you want to go ahead and send your scores into that school, because they will look at that, and then, like I said, you could possibly be considered for financial aid based on those scores. So what is holistic review? So if you are not able to automatically be admitted to a school, they're going to look at your rank. If you submit scores, they will look at that, but they're also going to look at the type of curriculum that you have been in. What type of classes have you been in? Have you been in all level classes and not challenging yourself? Have you been in all advanced classes? They're going to look at your resume, the things that you've been involved in. They're going to read your essay. They may request a letter of recommendation from a counselor or from a teacher, and then any other factors that they can take into consideration. They're going to look at all of that in order to make a decision of whether they will send you an acceptance letter or not. So another way to look for colleges that go towards that 3 to 6 college list. You are allowed 2 college visits during your senior year. So visiting the colleges is it's really one of the best ways for you to be able to see if a college is a good fit for you. Once you step onto that college campus, you will know if that is a school that you want to spend the next 4 to 5 years at. You will know if no way there is a chance of you going to that school, because of that feeling, that gut feeling you get when you step onto a college campus. But you're able to visit 2 colleges during your senior year. Some of the colleges right now are not allowing visits from students, so they are offering virtual tours of campuses. In Canvas, I have a virtual college tour section, and I will be posting in there different virtual tours for colleges across the country as I receive them. So be sure that you're checking those often so that you can take a virtual tour of different college campuses from the comfort of your home. Meeting college reps is another way for you to get to know more about the college. Under normal circumstances, we would have several colleges come to the College and Career Center to meet with students. This fall, we're going to be having virtual meetings with college reps. So while you're at home, you will be able to log into Naviance and sign up for virtual college visits. You will be sent Zoom information, and you will be able to log in from home during that Zoom for that particular college. Once we return to high school, once we return to school, those meetings will still be virtual. However, you will come to the College and Career Center and we will meet through Zoom with the college reps through the College and Career Center. Last year, we had several colleges come throughout the year, and it was a great opportunity for students to get to know more about the colleges that they were interested in and hear about it from the people that work at the colleges themselves. Through Naviance, there is also a college finder in SuperMatch. So if you're wanting to maybe look to see how much does it cost to go to this college, you can find that information in Naviance. You can see their graduation rate. That means the percentage of people that actually graduate from that college that start there, their acceptance rate. For instance, for this school, it has a 21% acceptance rate. That's not a lot. So, you know, these are things for you to take into consideration as you're coming up with your list of colleges that you're wanting to apply to. The next step is to apply. And there are different ways for you to be able to apply to college. Texas public universities and most two-year colleges in Texas will use what's called Apply Texas. Texas public universities. If it is an out-of-state university or a private university in Texas or out of state, they will use something called the Common App. Then there are university-specific applications. Baylor is an example of that. They have their own application for students to fill out. The best way to know how to apply to a university is to check the university's website. They will tell you exactly how you need to apply. If they give you options, you just follow. If you need to think about what other colleges you're applying to. If you're applying to mostly Texas public schools and you're using Apply Texas for those schools, it would be easier to use Apply Texas. If you're applying to a lot of out-of-state or private universities and they give Common App as an option, Common App may be a better option for you. But if you're unsure, check the university's website. So test scores. For the colleges that are requiring test scores, because there are still some that are requiring test scores, you will have to request those yourself through your College Board account or through ACT. Scores are not sent by the school. We do not send those to colleges for you. Some colleges may require that you take the TSI test. And so that is a test that we will offer on campus during the spring. So we will talk about that at a later time. But for SAT and ACT, you will send those through your College Board or ACT accounts. So let's talk about if you have not taken those tests yet. It is not too late to take the SAT or the ACT. You register for those online. Again, in Canvas, I have information on how to do that. But it is not too late to sign up for those tests. You have plenty of time to be able to do that. There are multiple opportunities this fall through SAT and ACT for you to take care of your testing requirement if need be. So for the SAT or ACT, you need to take those tests by October. Like I said, there's a lot of test opportunities this fall. So make sure that you take them by October. It's a good idea for you to take the writing section. It's just another way for colleges to see more about you. However, it's not a requirement for the colleges. Many colleges are moving away from requiring the writing section, so just be sure to double check with the college that you're applying to see if they require the writing section. And then the TSI test is either for you to place into a two-year college, or you can take it in place of the SAT or ACT. Some four-year colleges will also require the TSI on top of the SAT or the ACT. There are fee waivers available for students who are on free and reduced lunch, and again, you'll get those through the College and Career Center. So, like I just said, students who qualify for free and reduced lunch, you may get SAT or ACT fee waivers, but you can also get college application fee waivers if you've used a fee waiver on the SAT or the ACT. There is also an option of using Khan Academy for your SAT prep. You can do that for free. You connect it through your College Board account. And that is a free option for you to study for the SAT. And then ACT has online practice for free through their website as well. So requirements for applying to a public university in Texas. You're going to fill out the application. You're going to go to applytexas.org. There is a fee for these, so you will either pay the fee or come to the College and Career Center or email me or Ms. Rodriguez and request a fee waiver. Some of the colleges require an essay, so make sure that you get that taken care of. And be sure to send your SAT or ACT scores if the college requires it. Be sure to check the university website. And then your transcript will be required as well. You will request that through Naviance. So this is the Apply Texas website. It's applytexas.org. When you go there, you're going to click on Get Started if you have not used Apply Texas before. If you are in dual credit, you will click on Log In. You'll log in with the same account information that you used whenever you logged in to create your dual credit application. So this is Apply Texas for Texas Public Universities. For private and out-of-state colleges, most will use the Common Application. It's accepted at over 800 colleges and universities throughout the world. So some schools in Texas that accept the Common App include Austin College, Southern Methodist, Southwestern, Trinity, TCU, and Rice. There are others as well. I have the website listed there for you. It usually requires a secondary school report that's completed by your counselor, and it will also require letters of recommendation. Sometimes you might also need to complete a CSS profile for financial aid. The college itself will tell you if you need to submit that or not. And then there's other types of applications. Like I said, Baylor is one of them where they use a school-specific application. And if it's a choice, it is a good idea to use the Common App just because it's a little more user-friendly. But be sure to check the college websites for application requirements. Letters of recommendation. I've gotten a lot of questions about letters of recommendation. For some scholarships, they require a letter of recommendation. If you're going to a Texas public school, most likely it will be optional for college admissions. It's a good idea to ask people who you know, who you have a rapport with. Some letters of recommendation requests will be very specific from colleges where they will say it needs to come from your counselor or it needs to come from a specific teacher. So be sure that you look at that criteria. It's a good idea to request a letter at least 15 working days in advance. So this is about 3 weeks before you need it. You want to make sure that you're giving your counselor or teacher plenty of time to be able to do that. You're going to provide the teacher recommendation form or your brag sheet to the teacher whenever they write your letters, and or a resume if they're writing your letter. And it's a good idea to write a thank you letter to the person that's writing the letter for you. They're taking time out of their day to be able to do that for you. So it's a good idea to write that letter of thanks to them. Letters are returned to the College and Career Center to be included with scholarships. So if there is a scholarship that requires a teacher letter of recommendation, it will likely be something that is picked up from the College and Career Center. So the teacher will return it to the College and Career Center, and then we will include it with that scholarship. Evaluative letters are not given directly to students. So if your counselor or teacher is writing a letter of recommendation for you, they're not going to give it directly to you. We will send it directly to where it needs to be. And deadlines matter. Be sure that on your college applications and scholarship applications, you read those deadlines very, very carefully. Sometimes they'll say postmarked by. What that means is it has to be stamped by the post office by a certain time. Other times it may say received by. So it may have to be postmarked a week or so prior so that it can be received by a certain time. Pay attention to the high school deadlines. You know, we want to make sure that we're, again, giving your teachers and counselors plenty of time to write those letters. And then watch holiday times, especially around November and December. If you have a January 1st deadline, we're not in school at that time. So you need to make sure you're requesting letters of recommendation far enough in advance, either in November or early December, in order for us to get that taken care of in time. So just be sure that you're watching those different deadlines. Transcripts. Your transcript does not have test scores on them, so that's why you have to request that information through SAT or ACT. I can give you an unofficial transcript. I cannot give you an official transcript. An official transcript has to be sent directly to the recipient. So that we will do that through the College and Career Center. Only requests, transcripts can only be requested by students, not by parents. And requests sent automatically by the college will be ignored. So for some of the colleges that you apply to, they have a button that you can click to send an automatic request for a transcript. I am not going to enter those into Naviance. That's something that you will be responsible for doing. Always request through Naviance. In Canvas, I have step-by-step instructions showing you exactly how you need to go about requesting transcripts through Naviance. And please give us a minimum of 5 days to send transcripts. You know, there's 2 of us down here in the College and Career Center, and there's over 900 of you. So there's some times where we have a lot of transcripts to work through, but then we also have colleges that are coming or different things going on. So please give us a minimum of 5 days to process transcripts. The first 3 transcripts that you request will be free. Then all other transcripts after that will be $3 per transcript requested. So keep that in mind as you're applying to colleges. If you apply to 20 colleges, only 3 of those transcripts will be for free. And then the other 17 of those will be $3 per transcript. So be sure that you're keeping track of that as well. That fee will be issued to you at the end of the school year, but just something to keep in mind as we move forward. So I have this in Canvas, so I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on this, but you will request transcripts through Naviance by clicking on colleges and then colleges I'm applying to. You're going to click on the little pink circle with a white plus sign. You're going to click on that, type in the school that you're wanting to send it to, and then you're going to select which type of application you're using. You're either using Common App, direct to the institution is anything that you have applied to using Apply Texas, the school's application, or the Coalition app. Do not leave I'm not sure. It needs to be one of the first 2 options. And then once you finish selecting everything, you're going to click on that you have submitted your application, and then you're going to add and request a transcript. You're going to click on this even if you haven't completed your application. You need to make sure that you have clicked I've submitted my application so that it works correctly in this system. This first transcript is going to be the initial transcript, and then you're going to click on request and finish. And that is it. It's a pretty simple process. If you're applying using the Common app, your list will be pulled over once you match your Common application to Naviance. Again, I have instructions in Canvas on how to do that. Even though your colleges will pull over into Naviance, you will still have to go in and request your transcripts by clicking on the white plus sign and requesting transcripts that way. So request for a counselor letter recommendation. There is a form online that can be found in Canvas that you're going to complete online. You're going to save it, and you're going to email it to me, Ms. Beckham. My email address is on the form. You must know the names and the deadlines of the colleges that you're applying to. That's really important for your counselors to know. Again, you're going to give your counselor a 15-day minimum to be able to write the letter. Transcripts aren't sent until you request your letter if you are applying through the Common app. So it's kind of sent like as a package. Your counselor letter recommendation and the transcript are sent together. So I can't send them individually. So if you need a transcript sent, and there's a letter of recommendation that comes with that, or that needs to be sent with that, your transcript's not going to be sent right away. I will have to request the letter from your counselor, get it back, and then I'm able to send it. So make sure, again, that you're looking at those deadlines. So this is a copy of the form that you can find in Canvas. You're going to email the completed form to me. I will take care of everything from there. You will not email it directly to your counselor. You're going to email it to me. For teacher letters of recommendation, not every college requires letters, so be sure that you are reading that fine print, because some colleges specifically say they do not want letters of recommendation. So if you send a letter of recommendation to a college that's saying you don't need one, they're not going to read it, even if you send it to them. Know the difference between the counselor letter and a teacher letter. If a school requires 2 letters, your counselor letter does not count as one of them. Those are usually 2 separate things. And do not ask more than 2 teachers. I know for some of you have a lot of favorite teachers, and that's completely fine. However, whenever you start adding more teachers, it gets very confusing on the teacher side in Naviance about which teachers need to be sending what letters. And if the wrong 2 teachers send a letter recommendation for you, I can't go in and change that. So you need to make sure that you're letting each teacher know exactly what colleges you want them to write a letter for. You do not invite the teachers prior to speaking with them and giving them the proper forms. You need to email your teacher and politely ask if they will write a letter of recommendation for you. That is the polite thing to do. Once they say yes and acknowledge that, then you can send them the letter for the request. You need to be respectful of their time. The clearer the information you give your teacher, the better. And you're responsible for teacher letters of recommendation. So counselor letters come through me. Teacher letter requests go straight to the teacher. So step 1, you're emailing a teacher to ask if they will write you a letter. Step 2, you're going to fill this form out in Canvas, and you're going to email this completed form directly to your teacher. Then your teacher will upload it to Naviance and take care of it from there. Okay. Resume, should you send one? So some key points to kind of think about. If you ran out of room on your application, you might want to send a supplemental resume, because a lot of the applications now are asking for resume information. So you might have your resume, you're going to need to fill it in on the application. And if you run out of room on the application, then you can send in a resume. Does the depth of your participation need to be seen? So maybe you have been the president of an organization for several years and you're not able to list all of that information in your online resume through the application. So maybe you need to send a supplemental resume. Or are you sending new information? Maybe you finished completing your resume, your application already, and you need to share with the college more information that you have participated in. That would be an appropriate time to send a resume. There is a resume builder video in Canvas under the virtual junior jumpstart that is from one of our local college reps. They have a whole resume builder video to tell you exactly what needs to be included in the resume and how you will share that information with the colleges. So I encourage you to check that out in Canvas. Naviance also has a resume builder. It is pretty easy to use. I have step-by-step instructions again in Naviance on how to do that. You will fill in what areas you want to use, and then at the end you export it and it comes out in a very polished and clean looking resume. So it's a very user-friendly way to create a resume if you're not sure where to start in creating a resume. All right, so if you were a student athlete, signing up for NCAA or NAIA, that is something that you will be taking care of this year as well. You sign up online. I advise that you talk to your coach first to see which one of those they would advise you sign up for. Some of you, they may tell you to register with both. Some may be one or the other. If you need a transcript sent, and you will, you're going to request that in Naviance. I will see that you have requested that, and then I will take care of that electronically on my end. All right, the next step is step 3, applying for the money. So starting on October 1st is when you will need to fill out the free application for federal student aid, called the FAFSA, or if you do not have a social security number, you will fill out the TASFA. So there are also scholarships available to seniors throughout the year. Some ways that you can find that are through Naviance. There is a whole scholarship section, so any scholarship applications that come through the CCC will be found in Naviance. Again, in Canvas, there are step-by-step instructions on how to find scholarships. Be sure to check Naviance often. At one point last year, we had over 80 scholarships available to students in Naviance. So please check it often. The start date and end date for scholarships is individual for each scholarship. So there's not a set time to look. They come throughout the year, and it's the student's responsibility to check those. Some other ways for you to find scholarships: raise.me is a website that you can go to where you can create a profile and it'll match you up with scholarships that would be good fits for you. There's also something called the College Board Opportunity Scholarship. I'll talk about that in just a minute. FastWeb is another one, and then you can just use Google as a resource. Just type in scholarships for high school seniors and you will get a plethora of results to help you with that. So the College Board Opportunity Scholarship, it is a scholarship that is based on rewarding students just for completing tasks throughout their junior and senior year. So for the first one, for instance, if you log into your College Board account and you build a list of colleges by a certain date, you will be placed in a drawing for $500 just by completing a task. If you practice for the SATs and Khan Academy, they will put your name in for a drawing. If your scores improve, if you strengthen your college list, complete the FAFSA, you can possibly be put in for a drawing for $1,000 applying to colleges. And then if you complete all of these tasks, you have the chance to be put in for a drawing of $40,000 for scholarships just by completing tasks. This isn't looking at GPA and rank. It's not looking at test scores. It's not looking at the classes you've taken, nothing. It's just by completing a task. So I highly encourage all of you to register for the College Board Opportunity Scholarship. So there are other types of scholarships available as well. Local scholarships primarily come to the CCC in the spring. We do have a few in the fall, but those are from local organizations or alumni from Conroe High School who have collected money and they want to be able to share that with our Conroe High School students to help you guys go to college. There are also national scholarships. These are scholarships that are available to anyone in the country who meets that criteria. So for local scholarships, you're competing with our community. Some you're competing with just students from Conroe High School. So the competition is far less for local scholarships than for national scholarships. University scholarships are scholarships that are from the colleges themselves. So after you complete the FAFSA, or the TASFA, the college will look at your information and then determine what scholarships you may be able to receive through their school. Some colleges have separate scholarship applications, so you need to make sure that you're keeping an eye on that whenever you apply to that college. There are also ROTC scholarships and corporate scholarships. So this would be from perhaps the company that your parents might work for. They may have scholarships available to children of their employees. So that's something that your parents or your guardians can look into for you. So scholarship applications, they will all be posted in Naviance. So again, check that often. Be sure to read the requirements. Sometimes you will return the applications to the College and Career Center. Some you will submit online. If it requires a transcript, I will come back to the College and Career Center and we will send the transcript with the application directly to the scholarship committee. We will not give you official transcripts to send in. We can give you unofficial. And make sure that you're looking at the deadlines. Sometimes we will put our college and career deadlines for scholarships about a week prior to the scholarship deadline, because we need to be able to collect that information, make sure you have everything that you need before the scholarship is picked up by the organization from the CCC. In the fall, some other things that you're going to apply to. The university scholarships, like I said, sometimes they have a separate application. Sometimes they're built into the admissions application. So make sure that you're looking at that. Some colleges have scholarships available called the Terry Foundation Scholarship. It's looking at leadership, academics, and financial need. So that will be based on your FAFSA. And the Smith-Hudson Scholarship is another one that is based on need as well. There are also honors programs that you might be applying to during the fall. Housing, yes, you're already going to be looking at housing opportunities in the fall of your senior year, and then your financial aid. So an example of the scholarship application versus the college application. The deadline for Sam Houston to apply to that university is August 1st. However, their scholarship application deadline is November 1st. So if you are thinking about maybe attending Sam Houston, it's a good idea to apply ahead of time so that you can apply for scholarships before November 1st. If you don't decide until February that you want to go to Sam Houston, then you've missed that scholarship application deadline for your first year of college. You can apply for scholarships later on, but we want to make sure that you're getting money to go to college the first year that you're there. So now what? We've talked about a lot of different things. So the first thing, if you're not really sure where to start, you need to pick 3 to 6 colleges. You need to be sure that you take the SAT or ACT or retake the test sometime early this fall. By Halloween, it's a good idea to have applied for college, completed your housing, make sure that you apply for honors programs if that is something you're interested in, and then be applying for scholarships and your financial aid. Number 4, be sure to follow up with financial aid documents and award letters. Your award letters will come to the CCC. We will look at that and we will collect that information for our senior awards night in the spring. So we want to be sure to honor you with those financial aid award letters. And then by May 1st, you're going to be deciding where you are going. May 1st is usually the deadline for you to let colleges know where you're wanting to attend. In Canvas, you will find a senior year checklist that has step-by-step what you need to be working on throughout this school year to help guide you through that process. Managing the mail. So this is a tip for all of you. So when you took the PSAT as a junior, there was a question on there that you could select that you would like your information to be shared with different colleges and programs. If you selected yes for that, you likely are getting a lot of mail, email, phone calls, and free applications. Getting something from a college is not an indication that you will be able to be admitted. You checking yes on that PSAT is what gives colleges the kind of the go-ahead to be able to start sending you mail about their colleges. So be sure that you're managing your mail and managing your expectations. Even if you get something from a college, be sure that you are researching that college to find out more information about that before you apply. Because if that's the only place that you apply and that's the only place you get accepted and you know nothing about that school, that's not making a wise choice. So we want to make sure that you are making informed decisions. In Canvas, again, I'm going to be referring you to Canvas all the time. There are videos under the Virtual Junior Jumpstart. And so this is a little snippet of the different videos that are available to you. If you are wondering, how do I find my fit? I don't know what to do. There's a video for that. These are videos from our college reps that are local to us. There is an organization called Houston Area Recruiters Network that are college recruiters that live in the Houston area, and they are from colleges across the country. They have created these videos to help you. So be sure that you take a look at those because these are created to be able to help you through the process, and they will help answer a lot of the questions that you might have as well. And lastly, I want to let you know that you need to be sure that you are being careful about what you post on social media. Every year it happens where a student applies to college, gets accepted, posts something on social media, and the colleges look at that, guys. They look at social media, and they will take away your acceptance to the college based on what you're posting on social media. So you want to make sure that you are not posting anything on social media that you might later on regret. If you're an athlete, I know there are college coaches that watch social media of athletes that they're trying to recruit. If you're applying to honors programs, I know they will sometimes check social media accounts of their students. So be sure that what you're posting on social media is an accurate reflection of who you are, and that there's nothing that's being posted that might hinder something good happening in your future. So make sure that you are checking that. And that is it for me. I hope this helps answer some of your questions. For some of you, it may have generated a lot more questions. If that's the case, please reach out to me. I encourage you to come to the College and Career Center. I encourage you to check Canvas. There is a lot of information in Canvas. If you haven't logged in, I encourage you to do so. Scroll all the way up and down through Canvas. You will see a lot of information that's available to you. If you have questions, please email me. There are no silly questions. I'm here to help, and I'm happy to help you. We will make it a great senior year for you, and we will finish the year strong. Thanks so much.